Hey everybody, it's Marty from owingsart.com. That's OWINGSART.com. Thanks for stopping by today. I had a YouTube user send me a message on my channel and they said, hey, will you check out the Derwent Inktense pencils? And so, bam, that's just what I'm going to do today. Checking out the Derwent Inktense 24 set of water-soluble pencils. And I'll just say this, I had a previous video on here where I did a comparison of watercolor pencils, and Derwent Inktense was included in that group, but I almost think that Derwent deserves its own category since their pencil is unique in that it says it's Inktense. Okay, special properties, pencil to ink in just one wash. So a water-soluble ink, I guess, is what they're saying is contained in here. And so let's take a closer look at these. And the first thing I'm going to do is pull a pencil out and show you some of the characteristics or property of the pencil. Then I'll get into a little demo and I'll talk a little bit about the pencil performance, and then we'll wrap up. So one thing that you'll notice right away, like with all Derwent pencils, is that the color is on the end, which is really cool, right? Because say for instance you've got a bunch of pencils in a cup or a jar or whatever you store them in, and you look down in there, you can tell at a glance what the color of the pencil is, and you can pull it out and use it, which is kind of handy. I like that Derwent does that. The other thing I like about Derwent is they sort of have a way of helping you tell the difference between the types of pencils they make. And in a second, I'll talk about one incongruity, but let's just talk about the pencil itself for a minute. So that thing I was saying was quite interesting is that if you see this little blue ring around any of Derwent's pencils, even their graphite pencils, it means that it's water soluble, like it's washable. So you see that stripe around there, it's usually you can add water to it and it turns it into a wash or a watercolor. The other thing I like about the Derwent pencil is the nice thick size of a Derwent pencil. It's meaty, it's round, and that costs a little bit more money to make a round pencil because you end up using more wood than say a hexagonal pencil where you're shaving off an angle of the wood. Now, the downside to that is if you lay this horizontally on a drafting table or a drawing table, it's going to roll right off. So you can either lay it perpendicular or do what I do, and that's put your pencils nicely in a box or a holder or a jar or a container to hold them. The other thing that's cool about Derwent is they manufacture these pencils quite well, and their quality control is good. Here you'll see the higher end 4mm core, or lead as it used to be known. Takes a little bit more material and pigment and all that stuff to make a 4mm core, but guess what? For the end user, there's less breakage, the pencil lasts longer, you can do more drawing with it in the end. And then it has this nice full round cedar casing on the pencil, which is just an added benefit, and frankly it makes the pencil smell nice. So natural wood and cedar casing, it's kind of cool. All right, so Derwent, we know they make a good high quality pencil. Now with Derwent, you're going to notice they also put the color and their color number right on every pencil, and then you'll notice right here there's a little, what is that, a little brush symbol? Yes, it is. Again, another way to tell that this is a water-soluble pencil. And then, of course, the words Derwent Inktense, and then England, because it's manufactured in England and it's an English pencil company. The Cumberland Pencil Company, or more popularly known, Derwent. All right, let's take a little look inside and see what we get here. All right, so like I said, it's 24 pencils, but I say but because there's really only 23 colored pencils in here. And you say, well, whoa. Now, if I stop and freeze frame, I see 24 pencils in there. That's right, there are 24 pencils, but there's only 23 colored pencils. Because one of these pencils, this one right here, is called an outliner. Okay? And this is that incongruity I was talking about. Now, what they say here, what Derwent says is this outliner thing you do draw outlines with, is non-water soluble. Okay, and yet still Derwent puts the blue stripe on it to denote water solubility. And I think, unless somebody can correct me, I think this is just because it belongs in a set with water soluble pencils. So I might be onto something there, or I might be completely off base, but I think that's the deal with this. All right, so now to the demo piece quickly, and I'll show you that. So I'm going to tilt the camera a little bit forward and show you what I've got here. As I do with every pencil set I get, I laid out all the colors, and let's talk a little bit about the colors that are in this set. So there's a deep indigo, an apple green, this baked earth, iris blue, fuchsia, Shiraz, sun yellow, poppy red, bark, tangerine, sherbet lemon, teal green, sea blue, chili red. You can see there's that green there. What is that? A field green, a leaf green, a mustard, a willow, an ink black, a violet, a bright blue, a charcoal gray, and of course there's that the outliner, which I demonstrated here. All right, so what Derwent says is they say that you can apply once the paint is dry, you can apply another color over it. You can color over it, and it'll be translucent. So first, I'm going to demonstrate here the paint, how you can turn the pencil marks into basic watercolor. Pretty cool, right? I mean, I think it's kind of magical that you can turn regular old pencil into watercolor. And look how vibrant that color is. This blue is great, and the reds are great, and even the other colors like the teal and stuff. But so let's put this to the test a little bit. I'm going to bring this down a little here. I'm going to pick a random color out of this set. So I'll pick this sea blue right here. And then I'm just going to put a little color over this teal that's dry here. Now blue's a pretty dark color. Oopsie, yeah, there we go. Blue is a pretty dark color, so we'll see what happens here. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to determine the translucency here. So if you see the blue over that green, you can still see it. You can still see the teal. So yes, I believe that it is translucent. Let's try it with a little bit lighter color. So I'll try it with this yellow here. Maybe over this willow here. So bottom line is you should see the brown come through after you apply this yellow, and you can. So if you were going to do a painting or drawing and you wanted some of that color to show through, and you wanted the color you were putting on top of it to be translucent, these would be perfect pencils for that. So listen, thanks to the viewer who suggested that I do a review of the Derwent Inktense pencil. And don't forget that Derwent sells these also in what they call an Inktense block. So it's just this little block that you can buy, and basically it takes the pigment in the core of these pencils, and you can draw with that or put your brush right on it and then use it as like a watercolor paint. So for the affordability, the vibrancy, the quality, all those things, I give Derwent a huge thumbs up. Great job, Cumberland Pencil Company, Derwent, as it's more popularly known, for making a great water-soluble pencil. And just think of the things you can create with this set. Like I always say, they're like weapons of mass creation. And good luck, and I hope you get some time to draw. And thanks for checking out the video. Bye-bye, everybody.